Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline. Hush, naughty dog. Anyway, sorry, my dog was barking and I was in the middle of recording, and now I have to re-record. So today's discussion is going to be a pretty interesting one. I'm really going to go into a subject of how, to not lose your tastes and who you are as a person because you transition. So, like for example, for many years I cut out a part of myself because I inherited and I was told that it was masculine. Um, it was seen as something masculine, and so my nerdy tastes. So some people may know, but I'm a collector of statues, and I have some nerdy stuff. And there's a few movies that inspired me from my youth and still inspire me today. I'm a very big fan of certain science fiction films. So, like for example, like the Alien films. Of course, the first Alien is my favorite film ever made, and the first three films really have inspired me. And the character of Ripley in the first three Alien films was just one of those things when I was younger and I saw her, and it was like, there's nothing really feminine or masculine about her. She's not some badass, but she's just this like, she's very comfortable and she knows who she is, and that was something that when I was younger, and I saw Aliens first when I was probably 7 years old, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And so I ended up watching the first film and then of course the third film, and I became this like huge fan of the Alien series, like the Alien itself, H.R. Giger, who designed the first Alien. Like, it's just one of those things that, and I kind of cut it out a bit for a few years of my life. When I first started transitioning, I'd say a good like 8 years of my life. When I first started transitioning, I was told by a couple of trans girls and people, like, you've got to be ultra feminine. And like I said, with my generation, before in the last video I said, it's all black and white. You're either masculine or you're feminine. You're either a man or you're a woman. And so now there's this like balance happening. And so for me, I was told that, you can't have these things because they're masculine. So I'm going to show you like some of my statues I collect. I really wish I could show you some of the other stuff. Oh, I can. I can pull all the way out. Look at that. Anyway, so there's like some nerdy stuff and some alien stuff, and then I'm actually going to flip it around and show you some other shit that I have. That's like, actually customized that predator in the middle, and this is an alien. Anyway, you get the idea. And actually in about a month or so, month or two, I'm actually getting like a $2,000 statue from Prime One Studios for Alien 3's Alien, and I'm super excited. I've been paying it off for a year, and there's going to be more in the future, especially now that I have a good job. I'm able to purchase these items. So I'm going to do like unboxing things of these ridiculously expensive, awesome statues. And so I just wanted to make it clear that, there's certain tastes that we cut out when we transition, and I think people are like, you've got to be ladylike, and and you've got to do all this and be dainty and submissive and all that shit. And it's just not the case. And I wish for years that someone had told me that I could be just as nerdy and just as really nerdy, obviously, with this shit. That I could be that kind of nerdy and still be just as woman as anyone else. So it's just one of those things that we get so lost in the femininity when we transition that it can be quite damaging to who we are as people. Anyway, so that was like one of the subjects I wanted to go over. And anyway, so things are going great with me and my girlfriend as well. So I went to visit her in St. Louis, and she's great, and I'm crushing really hard on her all day long, all the time. It's a little ridiculous. She actually started a new job today, and she's gonna be making cupcakes. Anywho. And so, there's also one other subject that I wanted to discuss, and this one's a very personal one, but I think my page is kind of known. It's now known as where I'm very honest. There's no bullshit. I like the idea of being authentic and to the core on issues and subjects that don't get discussed and things that people look past. So I think with transgender women, we're always so fighting to be accepted as women that there's certain subjects that are kind of taboo with us. Just like one I talked about earlier about accepting yourself for being ultra nerdy, but you can still be just as feminine while you do it. So one of the subjects, working out. Like, my girlfriend is a powerlifter and she looks fucking great. She's pretty amazing. Anyway, And I thought I was pretty, athletic, but I guess I'm not that athletic. But it's like you do what makes you happy, and when you're happy, you shine on the outside. It's that sort of idea. So you don't have to change your voice. You don't have to do things like that. You just be who you are, and be comfortable with who you are, and everything else just seems to come along. It seems to fall in place. And once you're comfortable with who you are, your tastes and so on and so forth. And everybody's dysphoria is different. My last video, I went over surgeries, and it's like everyone's dysphoria is different. And I discussed a few things that weren't important to me, like SRS and stuff, but they can be important to other people. I wanted to say that some people see those things as an issue, and I didn't want to like blow it off lightly, like, oh, SRS is nothing, it doesn't mean anything. It means something to certain people. So, it's just important for some people to defend, people who don't want to get it done, So anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, the subject of, okay. So this is a taboo subject that I didn't even know. After all these years of transition, I mean, I'm moving on my 12th year now of hormones. And everyone knows that when you take hormones, and this is very vulnerable for me to talk about. This is very uncomfortable. It was hard for me to talk about with my doctor, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about it with you guys. I've never had an issue with, we'll just say, performance down there in that area. And it just so happens that I'm in a relationship where I happen to be dominant as well. So I'm using parts. And when I was single for that 3 years, in my time between probably like 2015, no, 20, yeah, 20, well, it's like 3 years. Yeah, it was 2015 and 2018 was when I was really single and really finding myself. In that time period, I didn't really use parts that often. And I changed my hormones up the last year of those 3 years. And I went to the, real Spiro. So I was getting stuff that was not real spironolactone. And so it wasn't affecting me that much. It was actually my testosterone wasn't budging. But then after taking Spiro and the amount that my doctor was prescribing me, which was 300 milligrams a day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a lot changed, especially in that area, the genitalia area. And so I wasn't really horny at all. So I didn't really use that part very often. And so it atrophies. That's actually something that happens. But it didn't stop it from working when I was in the moment. So say if I'm with someone, everything was fine. And I've made it quite clear that I'm never getting SRS. So this is a subject that not many girls talk about, because whenever someone transitions or when they get older, they talk about get the surgery, get it done, get it over with. So when you atrophy slightly, it doesn't really matter. But for me, that area down there, recently, I started, using it. And when it atrophies and then you get an erection, hush, that's my dog. When you get an erection, it actually will hurt like a son of a bitch. And I didn't know what was wrong with me. And it was just one of those things, especially because I'm very much attracted to my girlfriend. And this is a very vulnerable subject, so I'm very awkward right now. But it would hurt, really hurt. And I can handle pain. But this was pretty painful. So I was like, oh shit. And I kept thinking, is something wrong with me? Do I have an STD? That was the first thing I was like, holy shit, is this like an STD? And there's some things out there that are like scar tissue you can get, and it's it is formed from an STD, I think. So I started thinking, oh my God, is that what I have? And then I started looking up for trans women, pain after, HRT in that area. And I finally found some women discussing it, some trans women, and they were discussing it. Oh yeah, if you don't use it, it will atrophy, and then when you do use it, it hurts like a son of a... And I was like, holy shit, that's what I'm going through. So I actually contacted my doctor, and I was so embarrassed, and I needed him to call me back, but, I set up an appointment to go in, even though I had just seen him, and I was super insecure about talking about it because, me and my doctor have never talked about my genitalia. It's just one of those things. And so I actually did a lot of research, and I actually found one article about it, and I was like, that is exactly what I have. So, ladies, if you want to keep your parts, you have to use them. You have to keep them active. If you don't keep them active, they're going to atrophy, and then scar tissue is going to form when you do use them. So you have to constantly use it. Or you could use a pump, something like that. I've seen, there's been another article, no, in that main article they talked about that pump. You can use that, but you have to use it. And especially as time goes on, because I've been on hormones for a long time, and some people, it doesn't work at all anymore. That's the way they say it. For me, I want to keep it, and I want to use it for the rest of my life. You know. So just putting it out there that it is a subject that needs to be discussed, and I feel like it is kind of taboo. Anyway, there wasn't anything wrong with me. It was just that I wasn't using it enough. So now I know I have to use it more. And trust me, you don't want to go through that sort of pain because, like, holy fuck. And then it's embarrassing, because you have to, So, and I kept thinking about it in the past week because that's when I really started thinking about it. Is this something I would discuss on my channel? And I thought, yes, it is. Like, this is definitely something I would discuss on my channel simply because this is what my channel is. It's about talking about subjects that aren't just bullshit style and fashion and makeup and beauty and stereotypical things that trans girls talk about. This is the stuff that we don't want to talk about, the stuff that makes us slightly uncomfortable. And for me, I just feel like I had to bring it up. So I hope this helps people. And just remember that it is a thing, so keep things active if you want to keep it. And yeah, and excuse my nerdy talk in the beginning, but and actually I booked a bunch of sessions with this really good tattoo artist here where I live in Memphis, and he is always booked up really far in advance, and so I got in with him, and I think the end of May is when I'm getting my first piece done. I actually got 6 appointments, and he's pretty excited. I'm really excited, and I'm actually getting some alien stuff done on my back. So a few of H.R. Giger's original alien concept designs for the first film. And I have this friend of mine who actually designed some of the artwork for a 20th Century Fox book that came out about the movies. And his work is pretty accurate to the film. So I'm getting film accurate concept art. Or even, stuff done on my back. And they're going to be pretty large. So I'm hoping my girlfriend's in town around that time at the end of May. And I think she will be. And so when she comes in town, she could probably film it when I'm getting tattooed or something like, or show some stuff or pictures of it while it's getting done. So yeah, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. And also my statue will be coming in as well at that time. So I'm going to do some awesome little unboxing and whatnot. Anyway, I hope everyone's well. I got off work early today, so I'm glad I could make a video. And I will talk to you guys next time. Please put your thoughts and comments down below, and just, let me know if you've run into that issue with atrophy where it hurts after a while, or, if you find that you've been in a situation where people have told you need to be more feminine if you want to be a woman. That's literally what this whole video is about. Anyway, I hope all's well. And I'll talk to you guys in a few weeks, or maybe a week, maybe 2-3 weeks. I don't know. I'm bouncing back and forth until I can come up with good subject matter. And I'll let you guys know how everything's going. Bye.